let's have a look at how come I'm now traveling back to Croatia.
Welcome to Season 6, Episode 14 of my backpacking solo epic trek. We went back to Croatia. Having left Herceg Novi in Montenegro, I caught the infamous overnight bus. Oh my gosh, this was a monstrous double-decker bus. And I finally found one seat. And I'm in that seat thinking, well, I'm uncomfortable, but I'll find a way to be comfortable all night. And it wasn't until we got to Dubrovnik that I found out that we needed to change buses. Now, you've got to understand that I don't speak Croatian. Nearly everyone else on that fully packed bus did speak Croatian. So, one of the scary things about traveling the way that I did, mostly on public transport, was the fact that it would be so easy to miss important directions. Landed in Zagreb in Croatia, got there at about 6 o'clock in the morning, had to wait a couple of hours, and then I caught another bus all the way down to Pula. And then when I got to Pula, I had to jump on another bus all the way out to Vodnjan. I arrived in the little town of Vodnjan on the 31st of May 2019. So what the heck was I doing back in Croatia? I know you're thinking that. Well, it's her fault. Let me introduce you to Tina, a West Australian. She loves Australia, as her t-shirt tells you. She also loves cats. And just across from where Tina lives you could hear the plaintive mewing of this little kitten. And because she loves cats, but she couldn't have one where she was living, she made sure that she looked after the stray cat. But I didn't meet Tina then. I met Tina in September 2018 in Pula. Now, we met through an amazing Facebook group, and if you're thinking of going to Croatia, I highly recommend that you become a part of the Croatia Insider Facebook group. So I met Tina, we hit it off, two Aussies here in Pula. Little did I know that when Tina said, "You must come and visit me again sometime and stay with me," little did I know that that's exactly what would happen. And here I am in Vodnjan. This is Tina's street. I'm standing just outside of where Tina lives and looking down her street. Now, this probably looks very romantic to you because most of you are Aussies, and this sort of stuff, it sort of pulls the old heartstrings. Actually, living in this environment can be a very different kettle of fish. However, I did love it here. I really enjoyed my stay. And then I took some really beautiful photos that I absolutely want to show you now. Walking down the street, in that street that I showed you, these were some of the beautiful, and not really beautiful, but picturesque, quaint, totally gorgeous accommodations or residences that I passed every single day of the month that I stayed there. And looking at back up the street where the flowers are, the small picture on the left, looking back up to where Tina bought her house. Now, Tina ended up buying a house in Vodnjan, and her story is quite interesting. You will find the link to the interview that I did with her when I stayed in Vodnjan, and she explains what she had to do and why she chose to move from Australia, where her family is, and go and live in Europe. And please go tap on that link and have a read. You might just like it. Then, walking down past these places, I walked by this one, loved it. Look at all of those beautiful flowers, just so amazing. Sitting here in the town square, looking across at this incredible building. And where am I sitting? This is my office in Vodnjan. Well, one of them anyway. This is a cafe. I would come here every morning and have my macchiato. Branka, who works here, had very little English, but somehow we got on and it was just a wonderful, warm, welcoming feeling. Now, this cafe that I'm in here is basically wait a minute, is this the Italian one? Okay, I think this is the Italian cafe, and if you have a look across the square at the yellow building, that's the other cafe, and that's the Croatian one. One of them is Croatian and one of them is Italian. But what I did though is I got up, walked down the street, and between these buildings, I came to my other global office or Vodnjan office at this cafe. You could see that I actually had a really relaxing, laid back time. And that was the beautiful thing of going to a smaller town, a smaller village, just across from this cafe. This is where I would also sit under the shade of the tree. Beautiful little square. You can see my backpack and computer does not get out of my sight anymore. And I would sit here and watch the world go by in Vodnjan. I will say though, Vodnjan is in the county of Istria. Istria is such a beautiful part of Croatia. There is one part that is my absolute favourite of all in the county of Istria. And here it is, Rovinj. This is a magical, magical town. So there you can see the old town. It's contained within an egg-shaped peninsula, and it's webbed with steep cobbled streets and small squares, and you can see the actual church tower, the tall church tower. Now, Rovinj is bordered on three sides by the Adriatic Sea. So let's have a look at a little bit more of what can happen when you're sitting by the Adriatic Sea. Here we have my favourite gin. This is called 24 Roses, and I counted them. There are 24 rosebuds in that gin and tonic. How magic is this? Now, it was a steep, steep walk down, as I just explained. So many gorgeous, quirky, funky little places that you could walk down to. I did this, I walked down here, took the photo, went in, had a look at the beautiful clothes, and you could also continue walking. And when you continued walking, here we are again. I was always taken by the old towns of every single place that I went to in Europe. It was always the old towns. The core of the old town is mostly Venetian, and it's built with pale limestone, and the pale limestone actually glows in the sun. See the markets there on the left? It was at these markets that I bought a beautiful pair of earrings. I did find another pair that I like much better on my first visit to Rovinj, but when I went back on my second visit, I couldn't find it. Google certainly didn't work there. Let's have a look at another part of the town as you're walking around. Notice the people walking up on the left, and you could walk all the way down and then just sit there right on the water's edge. I visited many places in the month that I stayed with that wonderful West Australian woman. who was gutsy enough to make a decision about where she wanted to live for the rest of her life. And I visited many, many other places. The only other place that I will share with you now, because I am attempting to keep these videos down to a smaller length, but I have to show you Novigrad. Look how stunningly cute this place is. It's a small town located on the coast of the county of Istria. Now, developed on a small island which was connected to the mainland in the 18th century. Look at this image. Can you see yourself here? I mean, look at that. How beautiful is it to be out there, no one else around, your bottle of wine, your sparkly, your seafood. Now, look at that woman who's out on that floaty. You see, I could do that here in Croatia because, because, because there are no sharks. No sharks. It's very hard for an Australian to really take that on board, but no sharks. No crocodiles, no sea snakes, no stingers. The occasional rip or two, but that's about all. Now, one of the main reasons why people do visit Novigrad, apparently, is because this area, this town, features some of the best seafood restaurants in Istria. So yes, imagine yourself sitting here having the best seafood that it is possible to eat on a beautiful summer's day. I loved Novigrad. I loved the county of Istria. I loved being in this part of Croatia. I'd like to thank my West Australian friend, Tina. Thank you, Tina. I had a really, really wonderful time. I probably won't be back, as Tina breathes a big sigh of relief. I did spend a whole month here. Croatia is a charming place. If you're looking at where could I go when we can travel again, then I recommend Croatia. So goodbye, Croatia, for the second time. I never actually realized that I'd be back. I was, and here I am, about to sit in this seat. Where am I going this time? You will find out in the next episode. Bye. Can you see? Can you see why I went back to Croatia? Oh my God, it was such a fabulous time. Now, if you want to hear more about Tina's story and why she decided to live in Croatia and what she had to do to live in Croatia, then check out her video. I've put the link in the comments and you can go straight to my YouTube channel, Victoria Rose Solo Travel. There are two of us. I'm not the one with the red hair and the piercings and the tattoos and someone who's 4 decades, if not 5 decades younger. But I'm sure you will go ahead and figure it out. One of the things that is so true about my travels is you have to operate from the heart. So here we have the heart. And if you don't operate from this, if you operate only from the head and not from the heart, then you will not ever live a fearless life of remarkable joy. Here is my heart key for this episode. And you're probably thinking to yourself, if you've been with me for the entire episode, okay, what could it possibly be? Something, a heart key that you're saying we won't like. Well, here it is. Hurt their feelings. Yep, you heard that right.
I've just said we need to operate from the heart, and here I am saying hurt their feelings, because here we go through life. Not everyone, but so many of us do not speak our truth. We do not speak up. We don't authentically communicate how life is for us. And one, not the only, but one of the main reasons is you don't want to hurt their feelings. So I put it to you, what about your feelings? If you do not take note of how a situation is impacting you, then one day that resentment, as much as you may mask it now, that anger, that jealousy, whatever it is that you're feeling from only considering about their feelings and not caring at all about how you feel about the situation, then one day it will spill out of your mouth, out of your body. It will show itself in many different ways, either a disease, or your body will react by putting on a lot of weight or not to protect yourself, or you might lose weight. We're all very unique in how we deal with what's actually happening in life. So the heart key to lead a fearless life of remarkable joy is to hurt their feelings. If you have to speak your truth, and that means that you think that will hurt their feelings, you don't know, of course, you're just guessing that it will, then you cannot live that life, because you are living your life every single day by how you think the other person expects you to act. So it's a choice, right? You can do that or not. But if you do live your life by how you think other people expect you to live your life, to act, what you're going to say and do, then you could be wrong. They may not think that at all. Or it is not until you put those boundaries in place and step out of your comfort zone that you may find out that that is what really works for you. Hurt their feelings if that's all you, if that's the only way that you get to speak your truth, because how you feel about something is important. And if you wait until it boils over in resentment, anger, pain, then guess what? You absolutely will hurt their feelings. Trust me. I know about that one. I hope you've enjoyed the session today. Go ahead and check out the YouTube video with Tina. Listen to her story. It's fascinating. I will see you next week with a whole new episode around where I flew to in the world next. I went there when I was, 18 years old, solo again. Just like solo travel isn't just about traveling the world, it is about traveling wherever you are solo. More on that later. See you next week. Thank you for joining me. Bye.